thought I heard, and I don't know, maybe I read it, that pineal gland is associated to feminine and pituitary masculine. I know it's that linear, I know. I just want to ask.
There's too much made about this calcification of pineal gland or third eye because no one knows anything about it. Understand, body cannot be restricted, or what you say, out of body experience cannot be restricted to one gland. It is an overall experience. When all your hormones are working in a particular manner, only then you can get that experience. I do not want to comment on that experience because I don't know what that experience is. It is something for each one to find out. What we can always say that your body is always acting in a restrictive phase. Your lungs have got, let us say, 100 million cells, but in your lifetime you are only using 50,000 of it. So if you train an asthmatic person to use even 10% more of what is used, his asthma goes or her asthma goes. But she is trying to only revive those 50,000. Why? Because the mind or the body is trained to only use those 50,000 cells. Similarly with your liver, you are only using a particular cells, you are only using the body is not in a capability to use everything. So yogis said that there is this infinite possibilities in our body where we are not using half of it. Why you are not using half of it? Because you are restricted in your experience. You are only linear in your experience. You are not expounding the experience. I'll make it very simple in a very retrograde way. When you say about the pineal gland, and a lot of people say that pineal gland gives you transcendence. So what is an out of body experience? They tell it in a simple English terms. I don't want to go in Sanskrit terms. They say that it is an expansive, all encompassing experience. So you can only get expansive, all encompassing experience when you transcend all linearity in life, right? So in itself is a paradox when they are saying that you are getting that experience. You cannot go through that experience through a linear way. You cannot go through a linearity and suddenly expand. You should have a knowledge of that expansion. That's what is said by Shankaracharya, that you should have that knowledge. So similarly, it is an all bound experience. You also have the same hormones as I have. During birth, my hormones were male, so I became a male. You became a female. Certain times the female hormones become more in me. I get this mastitis, I get this sagging breast. Sometimes I act in a feminine way. I cry more. Estrogen levels rise in me. It happens. In females also sometimes male hormones rise. Testosterone rise. You get facial hair. It happens. So we have seen. So nothing is like you don't have and I don't have. The experience is common in all the all the species, let me say human species. Only the physiology and the pathways differ. So you are creating something inside you, I am creating something outside myself. Creation is still there between you and me. You have more factors to facilitate creations within you. I have the only factor to facilitate creation outside me. So nothing can happen in vacuum. When you do a test tube baby, it doesn't happen in vacuum. Something still goes inside. So you cannot say that we are creating a test tube baby, so where is your metaphysics? It is still happening there. Because that Vayu, what we say, is all pervasive. Do it in a chemical lab, you do ICSI, you take a sperm, you put a sperm inside, still something, you leave it there. It is not that you put a sperm inside, everything is happening. You leave it there. Something happens. Even you do biological mitosis, you take a cell, you divide it by putting it a current, still it starts self-dividing on its own. You cannot say I have divided, now life is created. It starts self-dividing on its own. So some spark happens. We see it in chemical petri dishes also. So the hormones are ever present in every cell, in every point, which is what you call as a functional unit of life. In Sankhya, they call it as a anu, or the one functional unit of life in Sankhya philosophy. You call it as a biological unit, you call it as a cell. So hormones only facilitate these things. When you get this complete control over your hormones by these practices, few of this which I'll share, you should do it. Then eventually you can understand what these hormones mean to you. When you think only of pineal gland and people say, okay, think on the third eye because the pineal gland is here. What if the pineal gland was here? Then you say on the Vishuddha chakra. No. So it is like that. Okay. So because that is a gland, lot of people find it is calcified because it is not used, and in earlier primates it was there. In the elephant, the pineal gland, what you say, the gland which is inside, a lot of people correlate with the pineal gland. It becomes active when it becomes highly evoked by passion in an orgasmic state. You see an elephant is in an orgasmic state, he'll kill everything. So he has to rub himself on the tree till the tears roll out. If you really see, if you just search, it is there. So his gland gets activated when he's become highly aroused. So anything comes in its way, it will kill. It is just crazy. So it goes and it rushes and it rubs around the tree till the tears roll from its side. So it is pressurizing this gland so that the pressure goes off. So you get this small notification in nature. Like sadhus or yogis also learn from nature, because they themselves did not had this expansive experience. They can only learn from nature something which is crude. How a tiger kills, how an elephant mates, or how an elephant. Therefore, in poetry you see these references, right? In Sanskrit poetry and all, you see there are a lot of references to the animal kingdom. The reason is that.